Hey, I'm Brian, and about a few weeks ago my bike was stolen from our property. That's when I could have really used something like this. This is the Reolink Argus 2, a wireless security camera. And if you're searching for something like this because you're worried about someone breaking in, this might just be one of your best options. The camera comes with basically everything you need in the box. You get two different mounts, one magnetic one and another one to screw in, that gives you a few more articulation options, but is also harder to take off. All of the mounting screws are included, and you even get some cool surveillance stickers in addition to the camera itself, its battery and a silicone skin to protect it from weather. If you want, you can also get a solar panel for the Argus 2, and that also comes with all of the screws you need to mount it on the rotating arm. Speaking of that, mounting the camera is pretty straightforward. You get templates for the screw holes, but you can also just strap it to a pole or use some double-sided tape, as the camera is pretty light. Setup is also really easy without the need for a hub. You just scan the QR code on the camera with your phone and then another QR code on the phone with the camera. From there it's just setting a password for the camera and connecting it to your Wi-Fi. I think the Argus 2 looks pretty nice, and it's also quite compact and light despite being well built. On the back of the battery is a micro USB port for charging, and the camera records onto a micro SD card you can put in on the side, so there are no monthly fees for cloud storage. In fact, you don't even need an account to use the camera, which is nice. You can technically also use the camera indoors, but because of the way it works, it's really better suited for being outside. That's because the Argus 2 is a bit different from your conventional security camera. It's battery powered for about 180 days of operation, but I think the more helpful number is about 16 hours of continuous recording. How do those two go together? Well, the camera only records when it senses motion from a living object. It does this through a combination of motion and infrared sensors for temperature. That means that a human or a cat will trigger the recording, but a swaying tree or a moving car won't. I think that's a pretty ingenious system because it makes the recording much less power hungry and storage intensive, while at the same time achieving basically the same result as a camera that always records and then uses image recognition. This does mean though that putting it inside doesn't really make much sense, because there will probably constantly be people walking in front of it and thus draining the battery. But when you place it outside to watch your front door or driveway, that's not really a problem. The camera is also weatherproof, especially when you add the silicone skin. As mentioned, you can also power it with a solar panel if you don't want to charge it, and that does keep the camera topped up as long as it gets a few hours of direct sunlight a day. But thanks to the battery, some days without sun won't kill it, and I actually think that as long as you check the battery percentage and charge it every few months, you don't necessarily need to stick the bulky panel next to your camera. The app is also very straightforward. It alerts you when something is happening with push notifications or emails when you're not in the same Wi-Fi network, and you can quickly check what's going on in the live feed and even record it right there. This worked flawlessly from my experience with no false alerts. You can also go back and watch all of the past recordings the camera has made every time it sensed motion on a convenient timeline, and even download the videos to your phone. From the app you can also change settings for things like notifications or recording quality, though I don't think you would need to go down from 1080p. From the app you can also use the two-way audio function to talk to someone on the other side, but I think the speaker is a bit quiet to make that really useful. The image is nice and sharp, and for a security camera 15 frames per second are plenty fluid. The camera does have black and white night vision with good quality as well. Overall, I'm quite surprised by the Argus 2. This is one of those products where I didn't really think I would like it as much before testing it. It's super compact and really easy to set up and mount with its magnets and no need for external power, and it does what it's supposed to by alerting you when something happens and recording that scene in high quality for later. There's no need for any hubs or cloud accounts, and it's very affordable and works with smart displays as well. It's just a no-hassle solution for a bit more peace of mind, and I think for that it's quite worth a recommendation. Thanks to Reolink for sending this over, and of course all of my opinions are my own. If you enjoyed this video, you know which buttons to press. Don't forget to press that follow button on Twitter, and don't forget your mask when you leave the house. I'm Brian, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.